violence drops in Iraq, soldiers and Iraqis focus on rebuilding the country's economy. Welcome to Army Newswatch. I'm Sergeant Dan Wiltshire.
And I'm Sergeant Courtney Thomas. We'll take a look back at G.I. Jill's run for the Miss America crown. But first, let's take a look at what's going on around the Army.
The upcoming Field Manual 3-0 Operations is the Army's blueprint for an uncertain future. The revised manual gives new meaning to full-spectrum operations, and not only covers offensive and defensive operations, but adds stability and civil support requirements to the Army mission. General George Casey says FM 3-0 will revolutionize the Army's operations, structure, and training for the future. The Army plans to roll out the new FM at the AUSA Winter Symposium.
Fort Lewis celebrated a construction milestone with the completion of a new housing area. Discovery Village is part of the Army's Residential Communities Initiative. The program provides quality housing for soldiers and their families. Discovery Village is a public-private partnership where private sector companies manage and develop Army housing. So far, Fort Lewis has built nearly 700 new homes and renovated more than 2,000 homes under the RCI partnership, with hundreds more to come by 2012.
It's a combat system that soldiers call the future of field artillery. The non-line-of-sight launch system, or NLAWS-LS, is a highly mobile weapon with a container launch unit equipped with 15 precision-launch missiles. The NLAWS-LS can identify and acquire stationary or moving targets on its own. The missile warheads are designed to concentrate the force of their detonation for less collateral damage.
For the most part, within a contemporary urban operating environment that we have here, envision a technical truck with a machine gun in the back of it riding around the city creating havoc, and a forward observer with the correct positioning can stick this PAM right on top of that truck and end its mission.
Soldiers of the 5th Brigade 1st Armored Division tested the future combat system to offer feedback and get it fielded faster.
When the Army decided to go modular 4 years ago, it made a commitment to service commands to add to their operational capabilities. Leading that effort was U.S. Army Central. Now, 18 months into the transformation, Lieutenant General James Lovelace says ARCENT is defining what that commitment will be.
We're going to provide Central Command, specifically Admiral Fallon, which is a headquarters that can command and control, be deployable at a moment's notice.
The headquarters, stationed in Kuwait, will serve as a flexible capability if something else happens within Central Command's area of responsibility.
Warrior Transition Units serve as a place for soldiers to heal from serious injuries. During duty hours at WTUs, wounded warriors participate in cognitive-enhancing activities or work apprenticeship programs.
Their mission is to heal. That means that they must take their medications, they must go to their treatments, they must do their rehabilitation, all as prescribed. That's their job.
There are 35 Warrior Transition Units throughout the U.S. and Germany, so soldiers can stay closer to home. Studies show that healing in a family environment is especially helpful to soldiers suffering from traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Auditions are still open for soldiers to land a spot in the 2008 Soldier Show. Show producers are looking for vocalists, dancers, costume managers, and audio and lighting technicians for the song and dance extravaganza. This year's Soldier Show will tour Europe and the U.S. for 6 months. Applications are available at Army.mil.com. Live auditions are scheduled for later this month, and the show hits the road in late April.
It's time to give a big Army hula to the stations that bring Army Newswatch into your home, and especially to PSC TV 12 in the city of Pasco, Washington.
And Time Warner On Demand Channel 113, serving the greater Kansas City area. Thanks for watching.
Don't go away. We head to Iraq to get an update on the security situation.
Plus, paper or plastic, why more shoppers are going green. Those stories and more after the break.
Hey there. Hi! I haven't seen you before. Yeah, I just moved here. I'm new. Wanna hang out or something? 'Cause I have a feeling we're gonna be best friends.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
All right, Commissioner, hold on. I'll tell him.
Honey, it's Phil. The gold reserve is being attacked.
Tell him I'll be right there.
Don't forget to shut the window.
What? All right. What's the joke? What's so funny?
Welcome back. While many connect the drop in violence in Iraq to the success of the troop increase, some top-level commanders still urge caution. Here's Gail McCabe with more.
Officially, the surge of operations in Iraq is over. And according to Lieutenant General Ray Odierno, Commander of Multinational Corps Iraq, the current security situation is positive, but tenuous.
Security in Iraq has improved, the result of 6 months of surge operations, but the road to mission success is still blurred.
What I worry about is there's a window, and we need some political progress in order to maintain this window.
Lieutenant General Ray Odierno, Commander, Multinational Corps Iraq.
If we don't maintain the window, the populace will feel that they have nowhere to turn, and I don't know what will happen then. And so that's what makes this somewhat of a tentative security game right now, because unless you have the populace behind you, you will not maintain security.
Odierno says increased confidence in Iraqi and coalition forces has led to the emergence of concerned local citizens, or CLCs, what he calls a determining factor.
What happened is they, for the first time, felt that they were secured enough where they could really fight al-Qaeda, and they chose. They chose they'd rather work with coalition forces than work with al-Qaeda. Ultimately, they want to be recognized by the government of Iraq and be part of the future.
A future that still holds great danger and even greater unknowns. A future that's inextricably linked to security. Gail McCabe, Baghdad.
One benefit of the troop increase is that U.S. troops and Iraqis can focus on rebuilding the country's economy. Air Force Sergeant Lee Bellinger visited a Baghdad market that will soon set the standard for other markets in Iraq.
The Baghdad Jadida Market. It's the place to visit when you need, well, most anything. Here Iraqis can shop for fruit, vegetables, clothes, shoes, electronics, you name it.
It allows people in this area to have a greater base for economics, and it also allows people to create jobs.
But the sprawling and popular market has spilled out onto the streets, quite literally.
We actually are on the street right now, and the good thing is that you can't get vehicles in here. The bad thing is that it's backing up traffic other places.
So the market will be moving in the next few months, just slightly, 30 meters to the west of its current location. In all, more than 700 businesses will make the move.
We're creating a more secure area for them. It's got a better infrastructure for them.
These stalls sat empty for nearly 4 years, but with a bit of work, like new shutter doors and a touch of paint, they'll be open for business.
So it ends up being an opportunity and a model for all of Iraq for markets, because it's safe and secure. You only have dismounted traffic.
And what it does, it helps the people of this area see what the future looks like versus just a stand. They actually own a shop.
And this market will surely continue to thrive, even after it makes the 30-meter move. Air Force Sergeant Lee Bellinger, Baghdad.
Reconstruction efforts are another major part of Iraq's progress toward democracy. Mary Cochran takes a look at how Corps of Engineer projects impact the Iraqi infrastructure, the economy, and the lives of its people.
4 years and $6.5 billion have changed the way the Iraqi people live. This major reconstruction effort boosts the economy, with 90% of contracts awarded to Iraqi-owned businesses.
And they're partnered with us in helping to provide this infrastructure. So it's a great opportunity for our nation, more importantly, a great opportunity for the Iraqis.
400,000 Iraqis have completed projects across the country.
I like this job. It's steady work. They treat me well here, and I thank God for that.
These projects support essential services, like power. They've doubled the country's ability to generate electricity, and 3.9 million people now have clean drinking water. 33 hospitals provide needed medical care, and 400,000 students nationwide now have the chance for an education. More than 3,500 Corps of Engineers employees have deployed, offering a hand to Iraq's future.
It's just amazing to see the amount of enthusiasm, dedication, and professionalism that they have in helping the Iraqi people recover from the various crises and wars that they've been involved in the past several decades.
The Corps continues work on 509 relief and reconstruction projects across the country. Mary Cochran, Washington.
As Mary mentioned, more essential services like water and electricity help Iraqis regain a sense of normalcy in their everyday lives. Seaman Aaron Hebner shows us how reliable power has improved one formerly violent Baghdad neighborhood.
This is the notorious Haifa Street in Baghdad's Karkh district. Once known for its violence and terrorist activity, now people in cars move freely. If you listen closely, you'll hear more than the sounds of the street. You'll hear the sound of electricity.
Turned on the power for one of the generators that the coalition forces and the government of Iraq have been able to place in Karkh.
This is just one of the generators. In total, the project brings 10 generators online to help augment the Baghdad power grid, adding 8 hours of electricity a day to more than 1,400 homes and businesses in the district.
Well, the people, they're very happy because they got the power and they got back their normal life.
One of the benefits of the program is it allows the businesses to stay open later at night and to be a lot more productive and add some bolster into the economy.
These local shop owners are taking full advantage of the new generators, but the program is not perfect, and this shop owner would like to see the hours tweaked a bit to best suit his business needs.
He said if we can just make it 3 hours in the afternoon and 5 hours at nighttime.
Okay. But is the Baghdad grid turning on at night?
And that's what's made this program a success so far. The ability to resolve problems with the local Iraqis.
And if we can get everybody to agree 3 hours in the day and 5 hours at night, we can turn on the generator whenever we need to.
As the coalition and the government of Iraq do their best to bring essential services to the people, hopefully having more electricity will help them return to a normal life. Seaman Aaron Hebner, Karkh District, Baghdad.
From a father's tour in Vietnam to his son's unit in Iraq, a 40-year-old battle flag goes out on patrol through Taji. Sergeant First Class Christina Botti follows the flag on its journey through the desert.
I'm carrying the flag for about the next week.
The flag is tattered and torn, but the pride and meaning behind it are as new as the flag was over 40 years ago when it was purchased by a soldier in a small store in Vietnam. Alan Ho's reconnaissance platoon carried the flag in Vietnam, and many years later, in 2005, Ho gave his son, First Lieutenant Nainoa Ho, the flag to carry in Mosul. Nainoa was killed in Mosul January 22, 2005. Since his death, Alan Ho held on to the flag until recently, when he gave the flag to 2nd Squadron, 14th Cavalry Regiment, 2nd Stryker Brigade Combat Team in November before they embarked on their 15-month deployment to Camp Taji.
I had asked Alan, as a family friend, if we could take the flag with us on this deployment and carry it for a couple of months in memory of his son, but also to pass the legacy of the flag on to my soldiers.
To mark the 3rd anniversary of Nainoa's death, Bravo Troop took the flag on a mounted patrol through Taji Kedah, January 22nd. During the patrol, Colonel Mackey helped strengthen the relationship between the U.S. and Iraq by visiting a local sheikh. This is the 3rd time the flag has been to war, and each time it helps preserve the legacy that started more than 40 years ago.
It's the honor that goes along with the long line of warriors that stretch back way into Mr. Ho's family, and also into many of ours, and also that brotherhood of arms that we share with all of those warriors, past, present, and future.
Reporting for the 2nd Stryker Brigade Combat Team, I'm Sergeant First Class Christina Botti. A female soldier is strengthening relationships with Iraqi women. The member of Iron Hawk Troop says there's an advantage to being a woman on the streets of Iraq. Specialist Stephanie Bacon reports.
With a combat line unit in an armored cavalry regiment, working alongside a female is the last thing most soldiers would expect. She's not a tanker or a cavalry scout. She's a female searcher and the newest member of Iron Hawk Troop. Company Commander Captain Adam Cannon says Private First Class Nikki Woodhowen enables the team to interact with the female half of the population.
She is definitely a force multiplier for us, because when you get into these situations where you're conducting searches of houses or just even large groups of people, inevitably there's always females present.
Raids can be a stressful situation for everyone involved.
When we go in the houses to get our detainees, 99% of the time they're living with their families, and there's a lot of women, a lot of kids, and
PFC Wadhawan says that when the females see her, they calm down instantly.
And they calm down so fast.
In addition to raids, Ironhawk Troop 33 ACR has combined security patrols and area reconnaissance missions.
On a daily basis, we go out, we conduct patrols. We always try to interact with the population and just try to get their sense on the situation in Mosul.
And PFC Wadhawan is right there with the team, in the action, doing it all.
I am driving today.
It's good because we teach her a lot of things that she never thought she could learn, and she teaches us stuff that we didn't know.
PFC Wadhawan has been on the job with Ironhawk for a month and a half and says she loves it.
At first I was worried about how it was going to be, but we all get along really well.
Reporting in Mosul, Iraq, I'm Specialist Stephanie Bacon.
Still to come, soldiers continue to help clean up the crude oil washing up on Korean shores.
Eco-friendly office furniture. Fort Jackson goes green when it's time to redecorate.
Don't go away. More of the stories that make America's Army are up next.
I'm Bob Bennett.
And I'm Sylvia Bennett. Proud leaders of tremendously professional, dedicated soldiers assigned to Human Resources Command here in Alexandria, Virginia.
We encourage you to vote this year in the upcoming elections. Do your part, share your voice.
When you cast your vote, you choose more than the face of our government. You exercise your voice in shaping our future, leadership, policy,
the world in which we live.
Please see your voting officer.
And cast your vote today.
Be smart.
Do your part. Vote.
What is he looking at?
Oh, so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again.
Open your window. Always for Louisiana down.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back. The Hawaii National Guard is in Maui in support of disaster recovery efforts and what many residents are calling the 100-year flood. Sergeant First Class Brian Rotherham reports.
Approximately 60 Hawaii Army and Air National Guard members are conducting debris clearing operations on the island of Maui after unusually heavy rains caused severe flooding in early December. The mission to support the community has been a joint effort between the Hawaii National Guard and the county of Maui.
We don't have excavators in this particular detachment, so what we can't do, the heavy lifting, they do, and what they can't do, provide manpower, is what we do.
Much of the debris clearing has to be conducted manually with chainsaws, rakes, and wheelbarrows. Even though it's physically demanding labor, morale is high as these Hawaii National Guard service members have an opportunity to help local Hawaiian citizens.
This is something I like to do to help out the community, especially when it comes to disasters, and especially this place. What happened to this place is I don't mind helping out the community for doing this. This is the reason why I joined the Guards.
The mission started in early January and is expected to last several weeks. For the National Guard, I'm Sergeant First Class Brian Rotherham.
Soldiers continue to help in cleanup efforts along the coast of Korea. Crews use rags to sop up the nearly 3.3 million gallons of crude oil that spilled into the Korean Sea back in December. U.S. military personnel donated money during church services to contribute to the cleanup. The largest oil spill in South Korean history happened when a crane broke free from a barge in rough weather and crashed into an oil tanker.
There's a growing push around the world to ban plastic bags. You still have a choice at the commissary, but before you pick paper or plastic, listen to how what you choose could affect your children's children. Michelle Michael has the story.
Sack the plastic bag. More shoppers are going green.
I've quit using it.
And going home with reusable bags.
Makes sense to have this instead of taking all those plastic bags home.
The Defense Commissary Agency Europe hands out some 50 million plastic bags every year. Now the supermarket is in the market for eco-friendly alternatives.
We constantly look at consumer trends, and we realize that the consumers these days are very environmentally savvy.
A growing number of savvy shoppers want to banish plastic bags for good.
That's because a plastic bag like this, it's not biodegradable. If I were to leave this bag here as litter, you can find traces of it for thousands of years, and that's why Earth lovers are saying BYOB, as in, bring your own bag.
I got kids, and I'm trying to teach grandkids, and I'm trying to teach them that our environment is important to them.
That's why aisle 9 is #1 on her shopping trip. It's home to a whole new line of environmentally friendly products From light bulbs to cleaning supplies, even trash bags designed not to trash the earth.
This is also non-toxic.
In the 60 seconds you've been watching this story, 1 million more plastic bags have been used around the world. Frank says that number's not rubbish, it's reason to go green. Michelle Michael, Mannheim, Germany.
The Army is going green indoors. Sustainable interior showrooms display environmentally friendly furniture for people looking to update their offices. Fort Lewis opened the Army's first showroom more than a year ago. As James Williams reports, Fort Jackson took its new showroom one step further.
Soldiers have been directed to buy more environment-friendly office furniture and other products in the Army's effort to go green. Officials at Fort Jackson have turned the in-processing center for soldiers and civilians into a sustainable interior showroom. This is where people who are in the market for new office furniture can see how environment-friendly products look and feel before they decide what to buy. 3 office spaces installed new furniture and flooring and repainted the walls with low VOC paints. Fort Lewis opened its showroom more than a year ago, but Fort Jackson went a step further by making this a working showroom.
But that way people can see how that furniture will fit into a normal office setting.
Because this is a working showroom, potential buyers can get feedback from office workers.
They can ask questions. They can ask the people if they're happy with it.
Williams says the showcased furniture adds flexibility to cubicle farms. Users can expand their office space and move items around.
Shelving. You can move the shelving from one wall to a different wall.
Showroom office products meet the Green Procurement Program requirements. They also meet or exceed several U.S. Green Building Council LEED criteria. The flooring and furniture products feature recyclability, meaning they can be recycled instead of winding up in landfills. Sustainable interior showrooms are sure to catch on, giving soldiers everywhere options for going green. James Williams, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Coming up, the Army's beauty queen didn't take the crown, but she was a winner with American viewers.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
AIDS has killed nearly 6 million children worldwide. That's more than every child in every preschool, grade school, and high school in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, Atlanta, and Miami combined. The time to do something is now. The place is apathyisLethal.org.
Welcome back. January 31st, 1958 is a date that launched America into orbit. Gail McCabe reports from Redstone Army Arsenal, where the liftoff into space still reverberates 50 years later.
It was a day that changed our world as we know it. It was on January 31st, 1958, that the rockets of Explorer 1 ignited and the American space program was born.
Absolutely. And the Army laid the foundation for the United States space program.
The ceremony is in recognition of that historical day and the pioneers who made it happen.
Heritage unequaled in this country.
The launch, a direct response to Sputnik, was the spark that kindled dreams of exploration into unknown galaxies and paved the way for astronauts, moonwalks, and NASA.
These young pioneers and young engineers that designed this initial system to get us into space really laid the groundwork.
Under the guidance of the Army Ordnance Missile Command and Redstone Army Arsenal, Explorer 1 fostered the start of a new age.
And it was born because we had a successful, significant launch and technical advancement here when we put that rocket into space.
It also served as the cornerstone for the Army satellite and missile program, establishing a vital platform in the Army's arsenal.
What do we have now? We've got Patriot. We will be getting THAAD.
We've got MLRS, a multi-launch rocket system. We have ATACMS, large missiles, small missiles like Javelin.
At 10:48 p.m.
What was begun 50 years ago at Redstone put America in space. It was a blast of innovation and technology that still reverberates today. Gail McCabe, Huntsville, Alabama.
The Army had oversight on America's space program until NASA was created.
Even though the judges didn't crown her Miss America, Sergeant Jill Stevens still came out on top at the beauty pageant. Sergeant Rebecca Doucette has a look at G.I. Jill's run for the title.
Thanks, Courtney. Fans showed their support for Sergeant Jill Stevens loud and clear. It was the military vote that kept her in the top 16. Utah National Guard Sergeant Jill Stevens entered pageantry for the challenge. As a citizen soldier and a nurse, Stevens chose emergency preparedness for her pageant platform.
I'm Jill Stevens, a senior nursing major from Kaysville, Utah.
I'm not the typical beauty queen. I'm not the typical soldier. And I think that's great that I can really just show that I am relatable. I am an American woman, and I represent the diversity of the American people.
That led her to center stage at the Las Vegas Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino for TLC's 2008 Miss America Live competition.
I'm Jill Stevens, Miss Utah. There are 52 of us, and we all bring different cards to the table.
From the purple group, Miss Utah!
Stevens won the Miss America America's Choice vote, letting her compete with 15 other finalists chosen by the judges.
My nickname is G.I. Jill. Been called that for a good quarter of my life ever since I joined almost 7 years ago. I am so proud to be a soldier for what it's taught me and the successes it's brought into my life.
Despite huge fan support, judges eliminated her after the swimsuit event.
Miss Utah!
Sergeant Stevens and several other contestants immediately assumed the front-leaning rest in front of thousands of live and TV viewers. For now, Sergeant Stevens the soldier and Miss Utah has no plans to cut back on her commitment to service.
I think I can make a difference in some way. That's what I want to do in life. That's what drives me, I guess, is to somehow make a difference.
Reporting for the National Guard, I'm Army Staff Sergeant Rebecca Doucette.
I can't believe they eliminated her after the swimsuit competition. If I looked like that, I'd only wear swimsuits.
Well, that does it for this edition of Army Newswatch.
Join us again next time for the stories that make America's Army.